Good evening and welcome back to the Mancunian Way. My name is Martin. I'm your host. And boy, are we having a meltdown. Sorry,
yeah.
Camera. We've got Ed. You all know Ed, Mancunian's therapy, and Spartacus, who's going to go into detail, I hope, a little bit about Wesley. That's why we've got him
Okay,
on.
all right.
Rich is
wait. I don't know, Martin. I don't know if we should prepare the audience for Spartacus' take. I just want to put that out there.
Do we even want to open? I mean,
I don't know.
We've not even got the Gibbs White stuff yet. Whoa, this is really going to cook. Like I said, good morning, afternoon, evening to all in the chat. Please respect all opinions in the chat. You don't have to agree. But please respect. Mods, you know what to do. If it gets too personal, just give them a little warning. If not, then they're gone. Simple as tonight. This meltdown, I get people are emotional. They're angry. They're everything else because Manchester City Football Club is over. We're locking the doors tomorrow night. We're turning the lights off. We're doing it all tomorrow. It's not just a goodbye to KDB. It's a goodbye to Manchester City Football Club because Florian Wirtz is officially not going to sign for City. So that's the end, apparently. But before we get to the lovely transfer stuff, we're going to talk about Saturday as well. And we have got a bit of a giveaway as well tonight. I bought an extra cup final program. Listen, and forget the result, but it's a good souvenir to have. We will be giving that away tonight or at the end of the week to one lucky winner. It was 10 of the English pounds. We will be giving it away. If you've got one, don't ask for another one, but I bought two. One for the channel, one for myself. So that will be given away this week as well. Rich is with us. Thought Rich would dodge tonight after his Thursday night take because he's going to get cooked. We don't want main road. We don't want main road days back, you dopey twat.
On the contrary, Martin, I think I was proved 100% right.
Hey, well,
Nunes and Guardiola left back.
According to Kev, I'm a dopey twat. Oh, thanks for playing, Kev. Bye-bye. Ethan, hello, mate. How are you? We're not getting Phil. Wirtz. We're not getting Wirtz, Phil, to shine. Hello, Mingy Wong. Hope you are well. I'm so glad we ended our interest with Florian Wirtz. Bayern are going to get him. Even Liverpool apparently have ended their interest tonight because looks like he's going to one place and one place only. Davey Max, so the Wirtz deal is now off for the second time in 10 days. Foden's been tipped. Well, we'll see. Evening all, Mark. How are you, mate? Hope you are all right. We'll get into it. Unfortunately, one of them days. Exactly. Mark, hats off to Palace, though. Big up to Palace. Well deserved it. They deserved it, and they got it. And, yeah, I had a nice chat with a Palace fan afterwards and his son while they were crying their eyes out. And it reminded me a bit of 2011, but I'm not allowed to talk about the past because I'm a dopey twat. Sub, how are you doing, mate? Good evening. Harry, by the way, give a lot of love to Harry. Harry, I did get your DM. I will respond to you. Harry's a top guy, going through a very difficult time. We need to show Blues a lot of love at the minute. There's too much hate going on at the minute. Okay, get me Xavi Simmons as Wirtz alternative and hope we win tomorrow. Yes, Dash is in the building. Wirtz deal is off. More like said no to us. Yeah, I think he said no to us. I think he said no to everyone. But Bayern München. The connection to Bayern wasn't ever going away. Exactly. On the game, Erling is a coward. Mamouche not good. The rest is fine. Oh, dear. Martin, who we're now going to get now Wirtz deal is off. We'll discuss that at the end. I don't see MGW as Kev replacement. If he is, that's embarrassing. What's infuriating is that Pep with his ego and obsession, trying to challenge. Obsession things of trying to change things in the most crucial moments shows he has main character syndrome, things that cost the club before. I'm not Pep out at all, but when you see the narcissism and the manipulation from a manager, then you have to manipulation. Wow, Dash, that's someone.
We're supposed emotional today, Martin. We're
I
emotional.
mean, narcissist, yeah, I'll give you that, but manipulate, wow, that's strong views, mate. If I'm Verts, then I'm glad he's not near Pep. Would have said, wow. A lot of good evening shot. Wow, people are going for it tonight. DC, how are you? Hope you're well. Bella, hello. Jack Verts will end up at Liverpool. No, apparently he's going to Bayern. Apparently Liverpool have pulled out as well tonight, Jack. Liverpool have distanced themselves as well. So let's get into it. Nick Jackson, how you doing, mate? Happy we're losing, but we had enough chances. Not going to cry about red card. Still should have won. Right, I'm going to stick your other comments up, but keep smashing those likes, showing a lot of love. Who wants to kick us off then with the cup final? Go on. Anyone?
Me? I'll kick off.
Go on. Go on, Mr. Akanji at fullback.
Yeah, I said Akanji should be centre back, Guardiola left back, and I think you'll see. I think you'll see I was 100% correct because Munoz skinned O'Reilly, and O'Reilly bottled the two biggest moments for City. Unfortunately, the two best chances because he hasn't got 1 foot, and but above all, going back to the last 3 games, we've had the ball. Of the last 300 minutes of football, we've had the ball at the edge of our opponent's penalty area for 290 minutes. And, looking at, was it Wolves, Southampton in that game? And we've scored 1 goal. And that, you remember playing in the park as a kid, you get a goal every 30 seconds. It's and the fact is we have been utterly tedious for 3 games. And all we've done is pass the ball on the edge of the area to Diaz, knocked it out to the right, knocked it back to Diaz, knocked it left, knocked it back to Diaz, knocked it backwards to whoever's behind Diaz, knocked it right, knocked it left, and then had some insipid attempt, which has usually gone 10 yards wide or been cleared by a defender. And, for getting, being caught on the break and all that, a top level football team should not be able to have that much ball near an opposition box and create absolutely nothing. I don't know whether the players have just completely lost their confidence. There's a bit of me that thinks that because a number 9 giving the ball away for a penalty in an FA Cup final shows someone who's mentally not where they should be. The fact that we probably have about a 40% penalty strike rate at the moment is making Gareth Southgate and David Batty look good. And, but I think the sad thing for me is just the tedium of it. Like so many City fans have said in the last few games, they're bored because it's not, if you're winning, you can maybe take a bit of content from it, but it's just so tedious. And our opposition know what we're going to do. Oh, yeah, they're going to put it to Diaz in the middle. They're going to pass it right. They're going to pass it back. They're going to pass it left. They're going to pass it right. They're going to pass it left. They're not going to take a chance. And they just stand there and wait for us to pass ourselves to death and then get their goal or 2 on the break. So it's they all need to kick up the arse, including the manager.
Yeah, I just disagree a bit about the chance creation point that you made. We created a fair few chances. We just weren't able to convert them. It just fell to the wrong players. About the penalty, yes, Haaland has to take it, but I'm also looking at KDB. This is his last final for City. Why is he not demanding that ball either?
You mean for the penalty?
Yeah, for the penalty.
Because I just think no one wants to take a penalty for City at the moment because they all know they're going to miss, and I don't know why. They've just because we've missed so many, they've just all lost confidence.
That game was extremely frustrating. I didn't watch the first half. Because I had some charity work that I was doing, but then I went in the next day and watched the first half.
I'll forgive you for charity work.
But I did watch the first half again when at the day after. So I just think we're decent in the first half. We just couldn't score. But I just don't understand this thing with Pep. He found a winning formula that has both wingers, both fullbacks going into the wings. But he just randomly decides not to play that anymore, just to fit the Kanji in. I think that system would
Well,
work
do you
brilliantly
think it's
with
not about
Haaland.
Kovacic? Yeah, but it was partly Kovacic, obviously injured or whatever. That probably played a bit. I mean, the weird thing for me was playing Bernardo and De Bruyne were the closest thing we had in the team to defensive midfielders, or even box to box midfielders. So, yeah, it wasn't. I mean, he had no. If you're going to play Kevin De Bruyne as your defensive midfielder, you need about 6 defenders at the back, not 2.
Yeah, and KDB was missing so many passes.
But they only had like a couple of chances, to be honest, right? You had the one they scored, and then you had the Mateta back heel, and then the set piece. I mean, I think that's all the chances.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think having KDB as a deep line playmaker, as we were doing, just he loses the ball too much to do that role, and it just completely destroyed the rhythm. So we couldn't get 4 or 5 passings and getting close to the box, and having those players get into the ball, making the backline shift to one side and then shift to the other side and getting them tied like that. Because KDB was just trying a hero ball most of the time, especially through the second half, and missing most of them as well.
Yeah, man. I know a lot of people say we don't get transitions, but we had a fair amount of transition opportunities with KDB in the middle of the park, and it just wasn't there. Unfortunately, in a final, his last final, I felt like we had some breakaway moments, and it was just that final ball never got through. And there was times where you would just hope for him to burst through maybe and take on a shot, but he doesn't have the legs anymore to dribble from our box to the opponent's box. He just doesn't have that anymore.
And also, Palace was very good as well. They played very well. They defended like heroes. Everybody throwing their bodies at the ball. At the few times we had to take shots from the edge of the box, and all of them just gave their all in the game as well. Which, to be fair, most of our players didn't look like they were doing either. So, yeah, it was just frustrating. Very frustrating.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to be honest, and people may call me happy clappy for this. That first half we were in a bit of a rhythm.
Yep.
Didn't think we deserved to be 1 down. We created chances. We were putting in some very dangerous crosses. Haaland for that save against Henderson early on, which I didn't actually see till half time because obviously it was the other end of the ground from where we were. I thought, Doku, there was some very dangerous crosses going in. I thought we were moving it a bit more forward. I think what changed was Crystal Palace. Glasner was doing a lot of just pumping the ball forward. And we were winning. We were picking up possession so easily by that point that Glasner then started changing it. He started going a bit more playing out from the back than he was trying to punt. And that's where the goal came from. Because that's when, I can't remember the guy's name, begins with M. I can never say the guy's
Munoz.
Yes. Got the space. Because what that then does, it draws us in, so then they can start playing out, and we got picked away. And Rich, you are spot on, O'Reilly got caught out. O'Reilly, who has been exceptional for the last few weeks, looked like a kid on Saturday. He looked like a kid. And that's no dig at O'Reilly. You're going to get them games with younger players. You're going to get them games. It was just so happened. Now, people, I want to get your thoughts. No DM. Obviously, Kovacic was ill. People are talking about Nico Gonzalez. I have a different opinion on this. I don't think we fully needed a DM in that game. Because I don't think Palace were doing anything for us to need a DM.
I agree.
There probably would have been a couple moments, just like I just thought, and nobody's really talked about this. I thought our center backs were weak. I think Mateta held the ball way too easily, and that's basically how they scored all their goals. Is they hit Mateta, or all their chances rather. They hit Mateta. Mateta held the ball, and then he would hit it over to Kamada. He would give them Munoz. That's really their build-up play.
And he did well. He did well holding up the ball, and
and maybe that DM is able to help them out. Help them out and gather the ball off of Mateta at some points. But our center backs got to look at themselves too.
I just think that's more kudos to Mateta than our center backs doing badly, because Mateta is just massive, and if he's actually able just to put his body in front of the ball, there's not much you can do really, because he's just extremely strong, extremely tall.
Yeah. So maybe the DM would have helped in that way, right? Maybe he was able to get back there and help him out, pick up the ball off Mateta. Mm-hmm. But that was more than it. We already know how we are defending transitions. That's just obvious by now. But I thought we handled it fairly well. It's just, and this has been happening for 2 years now. We're not clinical anymore. We miss majority of our chances. If we don't get a bunch of the chances, we might not score.
What is that on Pep Guardiola for missed chances? This is where
I think a little bit, yes, Martin. Because when we put more bodies in the box, it creates more space for the players to have a good finishing opportunity. They have less pressure on them because the back line and the defensive units, they have to think about who are they going to pick, and that gives them that split of a second to have a little bit of space to finish. When we have just Erling Haaland in the box, which, let's be honest, that's pretty much what we had the past 2 games, they don't have that space to be able to have that finish, good finish.
I disagree. I think we did find space. I think we had space. I can name you, there was Doku chance, the Echeverri chance, there was the O'Reilly chance, 5 yards out in front of the goal there.
Fair.
The penalty. We had more than enough chances to wrap that game up. Mm-hmm. To me, I think it's from both the players and Pep in that game on Saturday.
Yeah, I think on Saturday, yes, but I was more thinking about the Southampton game than the...
See, this is the thing. I get people are going, because I saw this the other night. Someone said Everton broke them down in 7 minutes. City couldn't do it in 90. Southampton didn't play the same way against Everton they did against us.
Oh, no.
And I get this sideways bit, but how do you break down a low block? That's the question here. How do you break it down? You either have to have a perfect ball in from someone, or you basically have to lump it long and hope the big man gets on the end of it. Or you shoot from distance. There's no other way of doing it.
Yeah, Martin, and that's fair, but we don't try those other things. We give the team nothing to think
outside,
about.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree we don't shoot from distance.
If we actually occasionally shot from distance, we occasionally tried pumping the ball into the box, we would move the defence out of position a bit. We would give them something to think about, and they'd be thinking that 3 things could happen here. At the moment, they think 1 thing could happen here, and they set themselves up for that, and therefore they defend against it. So it's just being a bit braver and just throwing a bit of variety in there.
I think we're not asking the opposition enough questions. Let's take, for example, when we get the ball wide to a Savio or a Doku, we don't have an overlapping fullback or somebody underlapping. This allows the back line just to be 1 left back or right back, 1 fullback, marking them. You have the center back just behind them to help him out. You have the CDM about 4 or 5 steps in front of them to also help him out and stop passes in field. You have another center back that can drift into the wide spaces to help all of them out. So essentially, you have a 4v1 at all times. If you have an underlapping fullback or overlapping fullback, you force one of those players to give a little bit of space to the winger and then he can go on a 1-on-1, get a crossing, or do something that might actually end up going on a chance.
But Spartacus, and I don't like talking about him like this, but Kevin De Bruyne had multiple times where he was underlapping Doku and had it on the edge of the box. And you're just asking one of those brilliant moments from Kevin De Bruyne to either put in a brilliant cross or to hit it like we know he can. And there's one he was very close on, so I'm gonna give him credit. There's one he was at the top of the box. It was a good chance. But the other times, I just think we just didn't take advantage of times when we had those lapses where they gave us that time. And Bernardo Silva, please, when you get a chance to shoot, just pass it to Haaland in the middle. Please do not shoot. Please. I seen this guy miss too many chances. We're paying a guy $500K a week. Please just pass 5 yards.
500K is basic.
Fuck,
Pass it to him. He's open. You haven't hit. No,
but I want to go else because I watched the game back now twice because I'm one of them. I have to watch it back to see whether I've missed something. You know, when you're at the game and you're involved in all the bloody hoo-ha and the singing and everything, you miss things. Things become a bit of a blur. So I like to watch them back. And we did have a few shots from distance that were just blocked. They were blocked. Because the one thing you remember, there was 2 shots that Palace went down and time wasted, which they're entitled to do. There was one from KDB, hit one, right into
Wharton.
Was it Wharton?
It was Wharton.
And Wharton goes down for 5 minutes. So we did shoot. They were just, the trouble is, again, this is just football. Palace were throwing everything into it. Their heads, the ball sacks, the bellies, everything was going in front of them. They were just going, you are not coming through. And I know people don't like this, and I hate mentioning this, and I'm not using excuses. Henderson pulled off 4 magnificent saves and shouldn't have been on the damn pitch.
Yep.
And when I'm listening to Gary Lineker afterwards say, well, for the spectacle of the game and the cup final, I don't want a sending off. So what we've got to do now is ignore the rules of football because we ruin it as a spectacle. Because I bet you bottom dollar, if Ortega had done that the other end,
he's off.
No one's going, for the spectacle of the final, don't send him off. So that means that Erling Haaland can give someone a swift right elbow, but for the spectacle of the cup final, don't send him off. I'm not using it as an excuse because we had enough chances, but Henderson pulled off some magnificent saves in that game, and he shouldn't have been on the pitch to do it. That's my gripe. I'm not using it as an excuse, but it's a massive thing.
It was disgraceful, absolutely disgraceful. The fact it got reviewed, and it's almost like because he punched the ball off the side of the pitch, it's therefore not going towards goal. I mean, the ball was clearly bouncing towards goal. It was, Haaland was getting his foot to it, and had he got his foot to it, it could have gone over the goalkeeper's head, gone in. It could have gone round the goalkeeper and been an open goal. It was
or Doku.
Yeah, no, it was a disgraceful decision. And the sad thing is, if that had happened against Liverpool or Arsenal, we would have calls for the entirety of the refereeing profession to be sacked. We would have thousands on the street with candlelit vigils for it. It would be the biggest thing in the world, and you would have talk to the very top of corruption. And City just take it. We just take it. We just go. It's football. People make stupid decisions. It's all about the spectacle, and it's terrible.
We can't be. Well, because Arsenal fans have made moaning about a referee a second coming of the Lord for them. Because they've decided moaning about referees and they've made a career out of doing it, we've got to now ignore the referees because we sound like forget that bollocks. He should have gone.
No, I'm not saying that. I think it's just the way. Yeah, no,
I'll show you here now. How's that not a red card? Christ, am I there? It's not an inch away.
You had a situation, I think it was last season, where Nick Pope, he did about the same thing with Salah in the Premier League just before I think it was the Carabao Cup against Man United, where he just handled the ball outside the box where Salah would clearly score, and he got sent off. Nobody even questioned. It's just a situation where it's City and it is a cup final. Therefore, they're never going to be sending him off.
Sorry. I'm getting excited because this knocks Bournemouth and Fulham out of any European contention if these win tonight.
Who? Brighton?
If Brighton win tonight, Bournemouth and Fulham can't make.
They go 5 points clear of them.
Can't make Europe.
That's cool.
So that's why I'm jumping around, because I think it will change tomorrow night. Listen, and I'm not saying I'm not saying, oh my God, moan about the referee. We didn't win the cup. We didn't win the cup because Palace defended 10 times better than us. They were more of a team than us, and they just gave it their all. And big up to Palace. They had to go. One thing I like to think as a fan base is we will praise the opposition when they need it. Palace deserved it for their work rate on Saturday.
And you know the interesting thing, Martin, after the game in the interviews, Glasner talked about that work rate, and he said, we knew if we did that, we could win because all the data shows we can do it more than City. So, our opposition managers are looking at the data before the game, and they know they can outrun us. They know they can outpace us. And, if teams like Palace are going into the games against City thinking that Bournemouth are doing the same, Brighton are doing the same, Brentford are doing the same, and that's a huge. That's the problem encapsulated. The teams go in knowing they can outwork us, knowing they can outpace us, knowing they can outrun us, and knowing that they can set out to take advantage of, a factual, scientific advantage they have out of us now.
That's a fact, by the way. You tire out 10 men as well. So it did change the game. I know people won't let it do. It does change the game.
No, it fully changes it.
So, but at the end of the day, we still had the chances to finish that game off. We did not take them. Now, the thing is, to me, is my biggest worry for this was all of our game changers were on the pitch. So the last few weeks, when we've been struggling, we've brought a Doku and a Savio on to change the game out. They were already on the pitch. Because let's be honest, and we've got to be honest here, everyone was raving about that 11 before the game. Everywhere I was reading on Twitter and YouTube, everyone was going, Pep's gone for it. Bravery, let's go. He's gone all out attack. People were loving it. And now afterwards, it's gone wrong. Well,
how can anyone love? Yeah, I mean, I just did not understand him not playing Gonzalez, to be honest.
Honestly, Rich, that's why I did because I did the YouTube short based on what I was reading, and everyone was like, "He's gone for it. He's gone for it."
Everybody was like, "There's no
excited about it."
Everybody was like, "There's no DM," but they were like, "Okay." We got Marmoush on the pitch. We got Doku on the pitch. We got Savio on the pitch.
They were calling him brave and having a go, and we're gonna. Everyone was like proper up for it all of a sudden.
My biggest question was who was going to support the wingers? Because if you just stick them out wide and ask them to be 4 players, one before, they're never going to do it. I agree.
Kanji was the problem. I'm sorry, Rich. You're not going to like this, but Nunes and O'Reilly have been working for the last 4 weeks, and you don't change what ain't broken. And because he's got a hard-on for Manuel Akanji, and he's got to get him back in the team, he turns round and he
Martin,
back in.
You think you can play KDB in defensive midfield and 2 fullbacks who can't defend? I would have picked Guardiola and Nunes. I'd have picked Guardiola and Nunes at fullback. I'd have had Akanji at centre back. I think we had zero choice. If we'd have played Nunes and O'Reilly, we'd have lost by 3.
Spamming crosses in.
Akanji should have been in the middle. It should have been Nunes or Guardiola further up the pitch. Akanji should
Mario
have been centre back.
either.
With,
so who would you drop for that?
But honestly, we'd have lost 3-0 if we'd have played O'Reilly and Nunes with KDB
they
as
didn't have
central
3
midfielder.
shots, Rich. How did they win 3-0?
They would have
3
they would have
shots.
just been able to tap the ball up, and they'd have had a free run down the wing either side.
Rich, I do agree with you, but the thing that I have to criticize Pep on is I understand why he started with Akanji, but when he brought Foden on, there is no reason for him not to bring Nunes on. You do not want Foden to be wide.
I said, you know, agreeing with Martin, that overall, Nunes has been close to our second best player this season. I think Nunes has been, you know, better than most people think. I think he's actually our best. I think Nunes, and said this after the Southampton game, is probably our best crosser of the ball. So Nunes gives you the option of putting the ball on the head, which most of our players don't do. Guardiola left back, Nunes right back. Then you get those crosses. You got 3 centre backs in Guardiola, Akanji, and Diaz, and you know they can hold the thing, because especially I would have had those 3 and Nico Gonzalez playing, because Nico Gonzalez can pass the ball in midfield. He can pass it forward. Now, I'm a bit bemused by him. I thought he came in. I thought he did.
I'll tell you what it is.
Midfielder in a Pep side, he did pretty well. It's a
very
well.
I agree with you.
And then
he started 10 games. And I'll tell you when I think it changed for Gonzalez. I think it's that Everton game. That Everton game changed. Something changed. Because if you look what he does in the Everton game, I don't know why Nico Gonzalez just was not on that day. Which every player was entitled to a bad day, yeah? He was giving the ball away a lot against Everton. And then if you look what he did at Goodison, he brought Cobber on, he brought Doku on, and he took Nico off. And he had a quiet word with him in his ear, like he always does. And then, hey presto, we've never seen him since. I think there was something that has gone on in that Everton game that Pepper's gone not overly keen on that at the minute. We need to go back to the training ground and start it again. Do I think he should be playing? Possibly, yes. I think it's a bit harsh. But I think everything was fine until the Everton game.
Yeah,
which went wrong because
there are plenty of players this season who you look at them and think you could see that about that player 20 times in a game. It's weird how one player, one thing can get them dropped, and another player can have 573 things.
But that's down to stubbornness. That's
arguably, arguably, like, why is Nunes dropped out now, not O'Reilly? You know, and O'Reilly's obviously had some big moments, some crucial goals. It's been very important to us. But why, I don't get why O'Reilly over Nunes. Yeah, I mean, there's just some weird things with Pep.
There is this thing I agree with Blue Art. There's this thing of playing 10 men at the back is an easy thing to do. And I agree with Blue Art. Because I'm sorry, people are going to hate this because I've done it before. I played against the team. The team I had, it was under 19s level, so very, very different. But we were the top goal scorers. We scored 160 odd goals, and we played middle of the road team. I will name them. We played a team called Duckingfield, and they literally low blocked us all the game. We were the top, and we only scored 2 goals. Couldn't get through them. And we had the best superstars of the whole league. 2 of them went on. One of them's gone on to play college football in America. Another one, you might have heard of him, called Jordan Hall. Top guy, top player, rapid as hell. Someone called Kieran Glynn, who went on to play for Salford and teams like that. He's now at Scarborough. Really top player. Really intricate. And they couldn't get through them. And I went away going, what went? And I used to think it was my fault. Totally different. I know I'm not nowhere near, but I am a dot on an elephant's ass when it comes to my coaching and Pep's coaching. Dot on an elephant's ass, what I did. But it's people do think it's easy just to, low block Southampton, score 5. We do play better when teams come out. We've always had this problem with low block. Look at Everton. Everton for 2 years straight have low blocked up at the Etihad, and we've struggled. It's not just this season it's been a problem. The low block was a problem last season. A major problem.
Martin, I don't think anyone disputes it's hard. I think what people dispute is the fact that we don't do anything to try something different.
I don't think we've got the players to change it, Rich.
But if you've got Haaland in the middle at 6'5" and you don't occasionally try and chuck a ball on his head, or you've got players, we've got players who can shoot. You know, you're telling me
Haaland's got to do more.
Can't shoot.
No,
Haaland's got to do more. On the air.
I'm sorry. Yeah. His body language at the minute. Listen, I think Haaland's amazing. His body language is awful.
But you've got to give him something to think about. Even if Haaland isn't the greatest player in the world, if you don't put the ball, put the ball in the air, you don't take a long distance shot. You are giving him nothing to think about.
He got on a few crosses too.
Martin, from my experience, I played for Cruzeiro for a long time. The key for us, at least, when we faced low blocks, were to ask the defensive side questions. I'll do a run that goes from one side to the other. Is the guy that's marking me going to follow me all the way there, or is he not? Because if he isn't, then I'm got some space, or I went somewhere where we have more players in the opposition. And I don't think we do that enough this season specifically. We're very rigid. We have the fullbacks after we changed it. The fullbacks, they don't go forward to ask those questions. And then we don't have any superiority, any numerical superiority against the defending. So I think this is the biggest issue right now for us.
Well, this is just my thing. I just think that we're a little bit too harsh on Haaland, because I want to see Haaland with the two fullbacks, because Nunes can actually cross. Nunes can actually get overlap and make those runs into the box. And Haaland, I think, will be able to find some spaces with that. It's just that now we're seeing Haaland with no supply from the wings, nothing coming through the middle because it's blocked off. And now we're asking him to have a magic moment.
Because let's go back to the situation where you said, Ed, where we got the ball to Doku and then KDB is on the edge of the box and we pass it back and he has to make a moment of brilliance. If we have an overlapping fullback, one of the defenders, they have to follow that. So one of the guys is already out. So Doku is in a 1v1. The guy that's going to mark the KDB shot, he has to make a decision. Do I go to support my fullback and leave a little bit of space for KDB? Or do I stay on KDB and allow the Doku to have a 1v1 situation? Either way, either Doku is going to have a chance or KDB is going to have a chance. Depends on the decision making from the center back behind him or the CDM behind him. So by not having the fullback do that, we don't make them make a decision. And if we don't do that, we don't disorganize the back line and they are able to just defend in a block.
Yeah, can I just say, by the way, BM, I think it was you message, mate. I only got it the next day. I do apologise. On me, mate, I do apologise. But I did get your message. I think it was you, BM. I would have loved to have met you, but I didn't get the message till the next day. You know what that bloody stuff is like outside Wembley with the thing. I tried logging into EA online 3 times and it booted me out, which was very weird. You know what? I would have. Do you know what probably would have worked on Saturday? That's where you needed an Edison, because that is your way around your low block. His Edison just goes ping.
Fair, but
that's why. Because whether we like this or not, I said something. I did a space Thursday night, and I said something to Ed in the space that bothered me. I said, I'm really worried about this KDB sentimentality tour that's going on. And everyone was, get KDB, and they're doing it tomorrow night. Play him tomorrow night. You know, he deserves it. KDB is a shell of himself right now. Whether it's because he's checked out or whether it's because he's pissed off, we don't know. We will know about KDB next season when he leaves and he does an interview at his new club. What has happened? But the simple fact is, KDB was a shell of himself. Shell of himself. And Savio and Doku are not ready to play them sort of games. They're not ready. I think with the players we've been linked with, when you look at Wesley or you look at an Aït-Nouri or you look at a Theo Hernandez, we're going to go with this overlapping fullbacks as our wingers. And I think we're going to play this. If you look at Reinders, Gibbs White, sorry, I mentioned him, but it is going to happen probably. We're going to have runners. We're going to be a running team next season. And right now, I'm going to be straight with you. This rebuild is needed.
Yep. Massively.
The players are not the same players. They've given us every ounce of juice they can out of their little bodies for 5, 6, 7, some 10 years. They've given everything. And it's sad. But the club are not stupid. And that's the simple fact of it is we weren't good enough. Players need to go. Players need to come in. Top and bottom of it is, and we're going to do that. I said there was talk of the backroom staff. There's now talk of that. I will get his name. Where's his name? I need to get the WhatsApp up.
The guy going to Prague, I think.
Carlos Vicenza, whatever his name is, he looks like he's on his way. There's now talk of Gibbs White happening. There's talk of Reinders. He's closer. Wesley looks like that's going to happen. Spartacus, get ready because you're about to come into this soon. I think Wirtz was, for me, Wirtz was never happening. Wirtz was always buying bound. Florian Wirtz has used us the same way. It was to get buying going. He used us. He's used Liverpool the same way Bellingham did to get to Real Madrid. And he's gone to where he wanted to go. And good luck to him. Wish him all the best. No hard feelings. It is what it is. That was, for me, PR, what came out from City today. Because City as a business aren't going to come out and go, Florian Wirtz told us, no, thanks, but no thanks. He's not going to do that. They're just going to say, yeah, it didn't make sense to us, we move on. That was just a PR stunt to save face. That's what businesses do. Businesses don't come out and say, sorry, this player's told us to F off. No one does that. And in a way, I'm a bit glad because I actually think it's the 19th of May. I'd rather move on the 19th of May than move on the 19th of August. And you've got 2 weeks left to sort it out.
Martin, do you think that we should go for another 10 or we should focus our money elsewhere?
I would honestly give, if they're going to do what they're going to do, I'd probably give Mamouche, Foden and Echeverri the keys for 10 between all three. And I'd use the 2/8s of Reinders, Gibbs White, and use the fullbacks.
Don't forget Nico as an 8 as well, because he played.
Yeah, I use it more that way. I don't want to panic buy and go and get a Xavi Simons or a Cherky where we're a bit unsure and we're a bit not sure about this. Cherky's less of a gamble because he's so low in money. But Xavi Simons is 80 million quid.
No, he's
not cheap as chips.
He's 60.
No, they've said 80 now after that. They upped his release clause in that new deal last week.
1 assist, 20 mil extra.
Did they? Everything's reporting 60. But
I'm only going up. Someone said 80 last week. Whether it's 60, it's not going to be cheap.
But we've been linked to. I just checked. We've been linked to him for a while though.
We had been linked to Nunes for a while as well. So I'm just not sure either.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Rodrigo's an intriguing one. Rodrigo is an intriguing one. I mean, Spartacus, come on, give us, before we go and ask people what they thought of Wirtz and that, but go on, Spartacus, give us your thing on Wesley. 21, Flamengo right back. I am coming to the members, I promise you.
Yeah, he's young. He's very young. I think his main attribute is his pace. He's very fast, and he has a lot of stamina. He can run for days. He'll run through the whole game, go up and down the wing. Now, the downsides are also very big as well. I don't think he's particularly physical, so his pace for defending isn't really that useful because he can rarely outmuscle an attacker. So that might be an issue. He might manage to get in front of the attacker, but he can't quite keep the ball. Also, his technical ability isn't the greatest either. He's not particularly good in tight spaces. His crossing can be good, but when he has a lot of space, so I don't know how well this will translate to us. And his passing it can be sus at times, and he does not have a left foot. Does not have a left foot. Kind of like Walker in that sense. Again, he's also young, so he can come to the club and develop and be a better player than he is right now. I think he will do as well, because from what I've heard, I was talking to a couple of Flamengo friends. He's very hardworking. He improved a lot in a lot of things in his time in Flamengo, especially under Felipe Luis, because Felipe Luis is a little bit more of a tactician than the normal Brazilian coaches. So he learned a little bit of tactics under him, but still nothing close to what not only Pep does, but what happens in Europe either. Because in Brazil, we don't really do that much of a tactical thing in the game. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Wesley.
Rich, where are you at with all the meltdown? Because apparently we're closing the club down tomorrow night.
Not changed from yesterday. I'll be a bit of an Allen, but I'll see where he's going when he signs a contract and holds up the shirt. I've always thought he's more likely going to Bayern than anywhere else. I don't pay any more attention to today's, City are out of it than I did the last 27 City are out of it, or the last 29. He's definitely coming to City. I mean, it is what it is.
But it's now come, by the way, Rich, from all the City journals. All the City journals are running.
Yeah, but that can be a tactic as well. I mean, I just don't pay much attention to it till it actually happens. I guess I always thought, the team that needed him the most was Real Madrid. So I could never quite understand why they weren't going a lot harder anyway. But I'll wait and see. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. Above anything, we need some legs in the team. We need some pace. We need some energy. I would like a really, really quick defender. I think the biggest thing
on that. I have got an update on that.
The biggest thing from Walker's drop off is that Walker was like our insurance. Walker was the player who could get us out of trouble with his pace, and we desperately need someone in that defense with elite pace.
But Rich, it isn't only pace; it's also physicality. It's the ability to just body a striker when he's running down with you.
Yeah. You've got to have the strength to use your pace, but the pace is the crucial thing, because ultimately, when the amount of times this season where Prime Walker could have got us out of trouble in games and with goals, but we've had no one. We've got players who almost look like they're jogging back against faster, stronger players, and I think we need a bit more of that. And with that, a bit of aggression as well. Maybe Kuzanov, could be that player again. Another bit like Nico, who kind of disappeared from the world, and I kind of wish that for the sake of next season, in some ways, we'd have played players like Kuzanov and Nico a bit more. But Pep obviously got up one day and thought Nico, Kuzanov, they're not going to play another minute this season, and they haven't played. And hopefully that hasn't affected them in terms of their confidence and their understanding and their building of the game, because this season has been just short-term decision after short-term decision. and we're going to pay the penalty next season for the amount of short-term thinking we've had this season.
I'll say the centre back. I might as well, because everyone's keep an eye on Branthwaite at Everton. Keep an eye on Branthwaite. I didn't want to say it because someone's in the chat who loves him and has wax lyrical, but yeah, keep an eye. I think I always say reportedly, but it looks like Gibbs White is done or will be. The exact message I got is MGW will be a Manchester City player next season. Carlos Picenza will leave City at the end of the season. And the other one was Reinders. And then I got the Brazilian national anthem sent to me. So that was
Is it 98% done?
Oh, I don't give out stuff like that. I got in trouble. I just need to do these. Dash, 13 months. You are a superstar, my friend. Thank you very much. Big up to Dash. Foggy with the gifted on his birthday. Happy birthday to the legend that is Mark Fogg. Thank you very much, mate. Say massive thank you to Foggy for his amazing and very generous 10 gifted memberships. Big up, Foggy. Happy 21st, mate. You, sir, are a legend. And again, well done on the news the other day of being free of the Big C. Big up to you, mate, and thoughts and prayers. By the way, it's lovely to see Alec Johnson back in the chat. The legend. Say hello to Alec. You've been dealing with some very personal stuff. Trust me, I know what he's going through. And it's lovely to have you back, Alec. FIFA has renewed for a year and a half. Thank you very much, mate. And Outdoor Benji with a £2. Don't forget you can like on the super chats. Show Outdoor Benji a lot of love. MGW, Reinders, and Rodrigo would be surreal. That it'd be a better three than Bert's.
Absolutely, right. Yes.
For me.
Oh, absolutely. Now, Martin, I'll raise the question. We're not getting Verts anymore. Should we just
we can finally move on from Verts.
Yeah, should we just top it up with an extra 15 mil and get Eddie?
But I just want to say this about I just think we need another creator because as you guys know, there's going to be a lot of pressure on next season. Pressure on Pep, pressure on the players to perform at a high level. And you got players like Oscar Bob coming off an injury. You got players like Echeverry, who's never played in the Premier League. I mean, Marmoush is starting to settle in now. I think you need another proven player in there because that you're going to be at, and then you're asking for a title challenge. So these players will have to perform. So I think you just need another proven player in there.
Kaz, why would MGW be pathetic? I know. Your opinion, mate. A business club signing. Why? Because, here's my question. When you look at Gibbs White, he gives everything that we're missing at the minute. He wins tackles. He drives forward with the ball. He's actually scoring now, by the way. He scores headers.
And he has kahunas. He has kahunas, unlike most of our team.
Yeah, he's got a set of bollocks. He'll put his body in the line.
I mean, you look at what he's done with it. Forest are pretty much neck and neck with City this season. Morgan Gibbs White is their best player, and look at who he's playing with compared to City. I mean, you could almost say Morgan Gibbs White, based on a lot of the football this season. Are City good enough for him the way we've been? So I think the arrogance of us to say we can't take the best player out off a team as good as us, who brings everything we need, and they're not good enough for us. That's getting, I don't know. That's getting a bit prime Man United fan for me.
And by the way, Branthwaite is on the list. I'm not saying it is happening. That will depend on outs. I know Pepper said no. That will depend if people leave, I believe.
Martin, I think you mentioned in the space today, but so are we not actually in for Cambiasso anymore?
That one's gone really weird, Cambiasso.
Because I thought
the other day saying that's again. it's back to price. Someone made a great point. You know, out of all the signings we've made under Pep, does anyone know what our average spend is?
I know the answer, so I'll skip on that.
I know you know the answer. Rich, what do you think? Ed knows the answer, so he's staying quiet. Rich, general question.
31.7.
25 mil. So this thing of City going to go and drop 100 mil on every player, and here we go. It ain't happening. It's not what we do. And that's a board thing. People think it's Pep. It's board. They don't want to be spending 100-odd million per player. They're even, this is why the Diogo Costa thing's gone quiet. They don't want to spend the release clause.
So we're not getting a keeper, we're not getting a fullback. So
no, we are, but the trouble is, I don't think you're going to get silly. City ain't going to do silly signings. They never have.
Martin, I bet you that Bernardo will play goalkeeper for us next season.
See, Rodrigo makes sense at about 80 million quid. If Real Madrid come out and say, we want 130 mil, then City will just go, bye-bye. They won't do that.
It's us. That's Martin. What I'm saying. They're going to charge differently for us.
No, but this is the problem. People think we're going to spend 110 million on Gibbs White. We're not.
I can say one thing on Rodrigo, because I know one person that is pretty close to Rodrigo. 80 mil would be on the higher end for the fee. We're looking more at the 70 mil range, 70 to 80.
There you go.
Yeah. The thing is with Rodrigo, why he won't be that expensive is there's only about one club he could go to, because he will be massive wages, and there's only about one club he'd agree to go to. So it does become, Rodrigo will become whether Real Madrid want to sell him and whether they want that money because they either need it to afford Mbappe's wages or they want it to buy, rebuild the defence and midfield, which needs it. So in many ways, that'll be a deal that's as much about Real Madrid as anyone else.
Richie, from what I've heard, the situation is more on Rodrigo is forcing a move now. The relationship between him and Perez is just completely gone.
Yeah, well, I think he's, I've thought for a while that Madrid will only improve when Bellingham's playing as one of the front three, not behind them, because he's not a playmaker. He's too greedy. They need a Wirtz in that position, and ultimately, if Bellingham's going to go up, they've got to, they've either got to sell Bellingham or they've got to sacrifice Rodrigo because they put all their eggs in the basket with Vinicius and Mbappe. So, I think you need the three biggest egos in world football playing up front together. And Rodrigo, he's too modest. He's too hardworking. He's too, it must be hell playing.
Oh, I've got some news.
Those three egos.
Yeah, I've got some news on that. I'll tell you where that's come from later on. Right, I'll tell you where that one's come from later on. Amar says Gibb White is shite. Real good old football analytical viewpoint there. Say why you think he's shite, Amar. Don't just say he's shite. Why is he shite? I've had a few messages. Go on.
Have you heard about the Bournemouth center back? I saw we linked to him recently. Have you heard that?
He's
going to Madrid. He's already sold pretty much.
The other one.
Yeah.
Do you want to?
I'll
read you word for word. These are not free, like I said. Wesley will be a Manchester City player next season. He will be a part of the Club World Cup squad. Okay. Manchester City will speak to Ryan Ain't-Nouri representatives this week. City will have decided on the new goalkeeper by Friday this week.
Martin, on the Wesley thing, I've read on the Coluna do Fla. It's basically a journal, newspaper that it's basically a PR machine for Flamengo. They wrote that Flamengo already gave Gibbs White the green light to go to talk to Manchester City. So basically, they're saying that the fee is already agreed.
No, I mean he looks like a Spartacus. I know you like you like more tech players.
Yes.
I know that, and he's more of a kind of something we're lacking now, a pace and power. Well, I know you say it's not physical, but a pace and something
Pace.
merchant.
Pace and pace merchant.
And I think with the way we're going to be defending too, and the amount of running he's going to have to do, I think that's going to come in handy, especially if he's on the same side as Diaz, because he can counter that.
Yeah, I think the lack of physicality might be a big issue.
Very quickly, is someone's just where was it here? Where is it? Sorry. Someone said that after the worst news, Gibbs White won't placate the City fans. Gibbs White was likely to be happening with or without Verts, mate. I think it was Colin. Gibbs White wasn't an either or. Too many have got into this either or. I think Gibbs White was happening without him.
City fans don't need placating, and any fan who thinks that City should be placating them needs to get their head out the backside. I mean, you know, who do we think we are? We're not entitled. We're not. We've had more trophies and glory than we should deserve in a lifetime. So, yeah, I reckon some people need to think they're a bit less important.
Yeah, well, that's why I said Theo Hernandez is definitely on there now. Right, Bournemouth. Obviously, the reason why I was all Brighton, Bournemouth did have a chance of Europe. That's now gone. Bournemouth have nothing now to play for.
No, they have to win, Martin. They have to beat us.
They beat us. They're 5 points behind Brighton.
They win, they'll only be 2 points off.
Oh, right. Yeah, sorry. My bad. Sorry. Fulham are the team who can. Fulham
can't now.
My bad. Bournemouth can still. So tomorrow night he's going to be hard. Fulham, they'll be on the beach because they've got now to play for. Sorry, my bad. I keep forgetting Bournemouth have a game in hand. Yeah,
but I actually like that.
So here's the thing. Hang on. Here's the thing then, Ed. Bournemouth can't sit back tomorrow. Bournemouth have to attack us tomorrow then.
They would never just sit back. They're not that type of team.
So does tomorrow suit us then, in a way?
They are very physical side. We're going to have a very hard time. I do think we win the game, by the way, because I'm always going to give us the edge playing at home. But I just find it hard to see KDB doing anything against them because of the physicality. And let's face it, KDB is starting.
I think the problem. I think if he starts, it's stupid. He was knackered. He was absolutely gone on Saturday. I think if KDB starts, that would be risking Champions League football on sentimentality. I think KDB comes off the bench for a big round of applause.
But Rich, he had there was no reason for KDB to have 90 minutes against Palace and 90 minutes against Southampton. He didn't do anything to deserve that on those games.
They were a week apart though. This is 3 days. I don't think he starts.
Yeah, I think Pep alluded to that in his presser. To be honest, he said when they asked him about playing KDB on the last home game, he says, I'm going to play the best players that give me the best shot at winning this game.
I wouldn't play KDB tomorrow.
Watch the midfield three: big Gundogan, Bernardo, and KDB.
No, but he shouldn't. KDB does not. I'm sorry. I don't mean it's an awful way. Bring him on at the end.
Yep.
Is tomorrow about winning or about saying goodbye to KDB? Which one is more important tomorrow?
I fully agree. I don't think KDB should have started the Crystal Palace game. I don't think he should have less than 90 minutes.
I know as explained. Goals, 33 games, 0.21 per game. Shots, 46, 1.56 per 90. Shots on target is 20, 43.5% accuracy. But you're showing me Bernardo Silva there.
43% shots in accuracy is good.
Stop looking at the 10. He's not coming in to be the 10, Adam.
But at the same time, 14% shooting accuracy is very good. 43%, sorry.
That's about what
43% is very
Bernardo
good.
averages per season in his good seasons. So I don't know. Yeah. Listen, I know you may not like it, but sadly, mate, it looks like it's going to happen. Right, what would you do? Personally, for me, I would go O'Reilly and Nunes tomorrow. Play Gavardio. I would play Diaz. Kovacic, I think Kovacic could be the key tomorrow.
Is Cover fit? I was about to ask this. Is Cover fit?
I don't know.
Well, Martin, Pep said, with the game on Tuesday, he basically said on the game on Tuesday, I did not want to risk him today.
Right, then risk him tomorrow. Play Kovacic
I think
tomorrow.
he's playing.
Because Kovacic will shoot from distance.
Any chance that he gets...
By the way, Doku and Savio don't start for me tomorrow.
No. Not at all. Does Roddy get at least a minute on tomorrow?
No. Tomorrow's got to be about winning, not bring Rodri back for 5. Let's do this. We need 4 points. That's it because of our goal difference. We need 4 points. Tomorrow is the most important. We can scam a point at Fulham. Tomorrow night, I don't care if it comes off someone's left arm cheek and squirms in the net and we have a goal line decision. I will take a scrappy 1-0 and get over the line. I'm not bothered about sexy football. I'm not bothered about, I'm not bothered about any of that. Just get the win. That's all I care about.
If we get a penalty, who's taking it?
Edison.
It's got to be Haaland. By the way, Haaland will play. Will play.
He will play. And I don't think that's a bad thing, by the way. I think if we play the 2 overlapping fullbacks, we can create a lot for him. Have those wide players going inside, the overlapping fullbacks, probably going to be KDB, but if it isn't Foden on the edge of the box, we're going to create for him. It's just a thing he needs to convert and he needs to do the movement to get the ball as well. It's just not hanging around the back post either.
That's been confirmed, by the way. There will be a lap tomorrow. They are going to do a guard of honour for KDB. They're going to do all that at the end. Yeah. So, yeah, it'll be an emotional night. But it's got to be club before any player tomorrow night for me.
Absolutely.
I don't know. It might be a few goodbyes for a lot of players tomorrow night, and we just don't know.
Eddie. Yeah. I fully think Eddie is gone, by the way.
See, the only thing is with that, Eldon, you start Doku, then you're going to waste O'Reilly.
Yeah.
The 2 games O'Reilly struggled in are when Doku started in front of him.
I think it's more because Doku doesn't really track back more than the offensive side.
I think it's because O'Reilly has to become basically a fullback. Yeah. And I don't think he can do it.
He's not a fullback. It's not his job.
As going forward or inverting in, I don't think he can do it.
Yeah, and he's not a fullback. That's not his fault. They just don't fit together. If Beth gets on the training page,
no, I'd bring him on for a cameo. I wouldn't start him. No.
Starting for KDB.
Longsight City's full of optimism. He's gone City 0 Bournemouth 1 tomorrow night. See, I could do what I do sometimes. I always have a sly bet on the opponent just for, psychology. I have a cheeky fiver on the opposition, and then I have a win money or City win. And the gods like to make me lose money more than give City the win. Don't know why. It's a little superstition. I do have that one.
I always do that as well.
I always have 2 or 3 bets a season on the opposition. And I've never won. I won 1, which was Real Madrid a few years back.
Derby day, I always put some money on the opposition, draw opposition.
Rich, anything you change about tomorrow? Because you came out with your Akanji Thursday.
Depends on if Kovacic is fit. I mean, I still doubt. I'd still have been starting. Kuzanov, Nico, and various players, but they're not going to get changed now. I think Doku needs to come off the bench against Bournemouth, give us a bit of change that way. I
think Doku's better as an impact player right now. Sorry, Philemon, I think he's better as an impact player.
I didn't like the midfield we played against Palace. So I would like to see whether it's Nico or Kovacic or someone who's a bit of a genuine anchor in the midfield, and that's crucial depending on which fullbacks we play. Because if we haven't got someone who's actually staying back and providing some solidity, we can't play Nunes and O'Reilly. I just feel a bit worried that it's going to be the same again, because I don't know what Pep's going to change. It's going to stop us just tip from right to left, from left to right, from right to centre, and just hang around doing that whilst the Bournemouth players held their position in the box. I mean,
but Rich, I don't think
try something.
I don't think Bournemouth play that way though. They always every game for Bournemouth they press high, they try to win the ball back early. So it's very unlikely for them to just drop back and just sit and get in the box. And also at the same time, we don't want Savio Doku starting. Who would be the wingers? Mamouche on one side, and who would play on the other side? Because I don't think Foden can.
Tomorrow, I would play Mamouche. This is my team for tomorrow. I'm going to go on the back four, I said. Nunes, Diaz, Gabardio, O'Reilly. Kovacic as my 6. I'm going to play Mamouche on the left. I'm going to play Bernardo on the right. I know everyone's screaming at me right now. I'm going to play Gundo. Haaland.
Hard one, isn't it?
Thinking, who's me 10?
Hard one, isn't it? McAtee?
The problem is, I am down to KDB or Foden. I've got no one else, unless I chuck Echeverry in.
Hard one, isn't it?
See, I've just said I won't play KDB. I'm kind of going to have to, aren't I?
I think that I was thinking else.
But I know Grealish isn't going to start. I know Grealish isn't starting.
Unless you put Marmouche.
There's no point in me chucking Grealish in.
Unless you put Marmouche 10 and somebody else on the left.
Could it be actually Marmouche 10?
Grealish on the left. Grealish gets
Savio on the left, perhaps. Savio on the left, perhaps, because he's been playing better on the left than on the right.
This is the point. No one knows what Pep's going to do.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be Foden or KDB. I'm telling you, it's Foden or KDB. One of those two starting in that time.
Watch it be Bernardo, Gundo, and KDB, the midfield.
No, Kovacic. I think Kovacic is going to play.
Well, Andrew,
hopefully,
Semenyo's not offering anything on the right, mate.
Could it be on the left, then?
This is where we're at right now. Can't play Gunner, Scobber, Silva. It's killing me. Well, what did you play then?
We got nobody else.
You chuck McAtee in, Rico in.
This is why we need to rebuild everybody.
Exactly. This is why the rebuild is required, people. Because we're
get Reinders in. Get Reinders in for Reinders in for Bournemouth.
We're sat here though because we can have different opinions, Pep. Like it's almost like we've totally written off players like Gonzalez and Kuzanov and Grealish because
I think
Pep won't play them. We can play them. We can play them.
But Rich, any of those players, literally none of them can play the 10, and we're struggling to find the 10. It's not
I don't see any reason why Grealish, if given a chance, couldn't have done that.
All right, then do what Andrew says and chuck the young lad in.
This is the biggest game of the season.
Exactly, that's what I mean. This is why I'm. But it would be Pep, you know. It would be typical Pep. The biggest must win all season, and Echeverri rolls into your 10.
Yeah,
Martin, he did do that with another Argentinian
blood pressure
guy.
will be at the max.
He did that with an Argentinian lad.
At the max, Martin. My blood pressure will be at the max.
Yeah, I don't know.
But now, Yamal can do it at 17. Why can't Echeverri do it?
It would just make that much sense, right?
Thing is, people talk about Echeverri like he's never played a league game. Echeverri's played more football in a league than Alvarez had when he came, pretty much.
Yep, but Rich, you know, it's different though. I don't think it really matters at all. Though,
if you know someone, isn't in form, would you rather pick someone? And this is Pep's biggest problem. He would rather play someone he once trusted that is dreadfully out of form than take a risk on someone who isn't. And I think sometimes that has hurt us this season. And you know, if De Bruyne hasn't got the legs, so for me it's Foden. But if Foden isn't well enough, doesn't have the form, then take a chance.
Or you do what like Elder said, dock it right, Mamouche left, and that's the way you get around it then.
And Richie, I think
I'm just bothered, Elder, because O'Reilly is gonna be O'Reilly then just becomes a fullback, Elder. You might also put your Guardiola in there.
The thing with Alvarez, when he came to City, he was clearly the best player in South America. I think he had won the South American Best Player of the Year, and he was clearly levels above them. Echeverri's not there quite yet.
Sorry, Sparkus. That name I was told today as well. Keep an eye on that.
Yeah, that would be strange. But Echeverri wasn't. He wasn't that guy when he left South America. Just Alvarez was miles above everybody else. He was playing with teams. He was scoring hat tricks for fun. Echeverri is a very good player, very talented player, but he wasn't levels above the competition when he came. And that's the main difference, I think.
And he's years younger. So, you know, I mean, Echeverri against Alvarez the same age, I think you'd say the opposite. Echeverri's had more impact at that age than Alvarez had. So, yeah, it is a slightly different signing.
No, apparently he's ill. Apparently he was off feeling ill. I don't know where the Martinez stuff is. Apparently Villa now needs, as I said, to sell someone again.
Hey, Morgan Rogers.
Like Emi Martinez is the guy they're selling.
No, they have Morgan
I don't know what Aston Villa are doing with their PSR to get in these situations. It's very weird.
It's almost as if PSR was made to stop them.
Anyway, Rich, I know you're going to drop. I'm going to ask you the big question. Are we making Champions League? I know we'll discuss it more Thursday night after.
Yeah, but I've got a sneaky feeling it's going to be squeaky bum. We're going to draw tomorrow night.
And then we have to win at Fulham.
We're going to win at Fulham. I think.
Don't do the draw. Don't.
I've got a real feeling that with 10 minutes to go in the last game of the season, we're going to be drawing. Chelsea and Forest are going to be drawing. Someone else is going to be drawing. And then in the last 10, 15 minutes, the league position is going to go like that.
We can't do this, Rich.
And we're going to come through. We're going to come through.
Upset. By the way, Yusuf, we've both lost out on birds today, mate. So, yeah, I think you're back to wherever you're going to get. You're on fire tonight, Steve. But anyway, Rich, we might see you Wednesday for the post-match. If not, we'll see you Thursday, mate.
Look forward to speaking later in the week. Take care, boys.
We'll win both, says DC. Little fact. Do I say this or not say this? No, I'm going to say it. I might get killed. Fulham have not beaten us at Craven Cottage in 20 years.
Oh, this stinks. This stinks. This stinks.
You know me and my stats. I like to chuck my stats on the results.
This stinks. No, why did you say that, Marty? It would be typical City to lose it for the first time.
I told you I shouldn't have said it. They haven't beaten us since 2005. So on the 20th anniversary, they're coming doing us.
Oh, Martin, that stinks.
Listen, I'm on the goalie one. I don't know where we're going to go with the goalie one. It's very weird, this goalie situation. I don't know how Villa keep getting in this situation.
Is there any chance of us getting Chevalier, or is he fully
right?
dead?
I'm going to tell everyone now. I've decided my dad was very bad today as well. I'm not going to the Fulham game. My brother's going to go. So there you go. Everyone can all get a hype now on Martin's. I'm not going to Fulham away. My brother's going to go.
Fair.
But I may do a watch along on here. Don't know yet. Keep an eye on that. May do a watch along. Am I allowed to do a watch along, or is that
yes?
Is that going to be too jinxy as well?
No, we have to calculate the statistics.
I'm allowed to do the watch
along. I'll go back to you tomorrow. I'll have the stats by then.
Look, yippee! Everyone's happy all of a sudden. Even though I've been to like 7 away games this year and we've only lost 1.
Yeah, I think that stinks now for the Fulham game. We'll have to win tomorrow then. 20 years without losing there. No.
We might not need to win it though, Spartacus. We might not need to win it.
We only need 4 points.
Hopefully, man.
I think if we get 3 points, I think we're good. I think we're good.
By the way, have you seen what's happened where I live? There's an area where I live where they put "Welcome to Manchester" poster up, red with Pep's in his fucking hands. That's round the corner from me. I have to drive past that every day now, little bastards. Anyway, there are some quotes from Pep that have just come out. I will just read them to you. Pep Guardiola, do you know how much compliments we had when we won the treble and the quadruple? Now it's related when we don't win, but you have to be used to it when you play at the high level. If you don't want to be criticised, move to another journalist, move to another business, be a journalist or a pundit. You get criticism. No, never. You'd be surprised. That apparently it laughs. You understand what I mean? Go to another business. Players are the same. Don't want that. Be a photographer. He said there was a period when City missed a lot of penalties. I remember the first game in Europe when Sergio was an unbelievable taker. He missed 1 or 2 penalties in one game. I was never involved in them kind of moments. You feel the confidence, body language, everything before you take a free kick, corner, penalties. Okay, I'm going to deliver this as possible. Yes, I'm happy with the way KDB is playing, and the relationship is completely the same since his announcement of leaving was coming in. We didn't talk. Pep Guardiola, we didn't talk. I didn't talk with Jack Grealish. It belongs to the agents and the club, and Chica and Hugo. What is going to happen is going to happen. But he had minutes. He has to come back to start to play again. Pep Guardiola and whether he will learn on Man City's experienced players this week. Yeah, of course. But sometimes look at Claudio Echeverri. Played good, right? 3 or 4 chances. Every time he ran to the box, he was dangerous. Why he has no pass? His mind is clean, not to defend anything. What he's done in the past, maybe in 2 or 3 years, it will be different when Pep's got hold of him. When everyone arrives, you're clean, and after you demand more status, you know that's why he played good, because it's positive for him, a gift to be here and try to prove he can be in the Premier League. Will he be here or not next season? I do not know. We'll be here to help. We'll try. This is the situation. So Pep cannot confirm whether he is or he will not be here next season.
Fair.
On KDB replacements, there are many players that are really, really, really difficult to replace. for many, many reasons. We know that, but the season we've done is the season we've done, and we cannot deny it. And of course, we have to move forward, and we will.
Basically not saying anything, really.
Yeah. So there you go.
Fair enough.
Echeverri took 14 minutes to convince Pep. Someone's gone Pep out. Your opinion? Don't agree with it. I think if you're sacking a manager after one poor season, you're setting yourself a major downfall. Thinking of you, yeah, no, appreciate it, mate. These are the moments. There is going to be shows this week. There won't be, I will let you know now, there will not be a Blues Down Under on Wednesday. Pat probably won't be on the channel this week because he's had some awful news in his life. I want to send all love, respect, and thoughts to Pat. I'm sure you will do in the comments. He will be back when he feels right, but he's having some time out to deal with something at the moment, which is horrendous. I will not say it. It's up to Pat to announce it if he wants to do, and no one will force him. He's not leaving. He's just dealing with some stuff at the moment. We'll be back Wednesday night with the post-match. Ed, Spartacus, you're more than welcome to come and join us on Wednesday. On Thursday night, we're back with Thursday Night Chat, where we'll have the countdown to Fulham, where it will be just simply called All or Nothing. And then Friday, Waffle Show. And it looks like we may probably take a week off because I'm in Tenerife from Monday until the following Monday. And that's knowing my luck is when City will start buying every bugger.
Spaces.
Oh, no, it doesn't open to the 1st of June, does it?
1st of June.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm all right that week then. No, I'm all right. I'm back for.
Well, they'll probably get announced heading into
shut up, you. No, shut up, you. You're not in this. Yeah, big up to Pat. Send all your love. We haven't done it. Please smash that thumbs up. We appreciate it. But Ed will be on. You're going to see a lot more of Ed. He's going to be part of Stateside Blues very, very shortly. That'll kick off in the new season, which I can't wait to have. Got an amazing panel. Ed's going to be on there. I promise you I won't be on it. I promise you. I'm not an American, as I'm not an Aussie. I know. I promise you. But we've got loads of things coming up, which you'll all enjoy. Julie, good evening. Don't worry. Yeah, big up to Pat, everyone. Sergio, one of the greatest of me. We played for the Swamp in the talks about like Ronaldo, our best. True. W Pat, keep going. Big man Blues are here. Hopefully back when ready. I hope we don't learn out Echeverri. He's going to be special with a solid team around him. I will, mate. I will. I'm going to. My Speedo is on. He's ready. My new beach bod is ready. Me and my brand.
Are you wearing those sunglasses again?
Everyone
Mark, you take a picture when you did that. Don't pose like that, okay? Don't pose like that. We don't do those poses anymore. We don't do those poses.
Oh, do we not do it? We're going Europa because of Pep, and if we are, we are. The club doesn't wrap up, by the way, if we don't end up. I know that's what people will say. It is what it is. Oh, beach bod, not pod, cheeky sod. You won't be. No, I won't be on. I promise you. I promise. My other half has begged me, and I'm right. But we're going away for a very special thing. I will explain all when we're back.
Fair.
So no, you will not see me. It is a proper family holiday. So no, I won't be here. But massive thank you, Ed. Thank you very much, mate. Always a pleasure. Always welcome.
Appreciate it. Appreciate the chat.
Ed is a big, big component of this channel. He's becoming it. He pushes this channel everywhere. Major component of this channel, and we can't thank him enough. Spartacus the same, even though he has got a Pedri loving. Don't know why. He has a bigger Pedri loving.
No, it's Barcelona.
No, it's just it's Pedri and Yamal. There's maybe a little bit of Balde as well.
And don't forget, I will tell everyone on Thursday night, if you want it, it's still a great prize. We're going to be giving away a cup final program. 10 of the English pounds. I don't know if everyone got one. I bought a spare one to give away on the channel. That will be given away to a subscriber on Thursday. And don't forget, end of season when we do the review, we will Q darts. Bye-bye, mate. Mods, get rid of him. We're not dealing with idiots like that. Listen, you're warned. You respect everyone's opinion. You don't have to agree. You respect them. We don't do abuse in this channel, mate. You don't like it, don't watch. Simple as, mate. So, Mod, you know what to do. But yeah, don't forget, end of season, we will be giving away a brand new 25-26 Manchester City shirt as well to one lucky subscriber.
If I get that one, I'm getting paid written in the back.
And you, by the way, you don't have to have the home kit. You can have an away kit as well if you want that. So yeah. Anyway,
Spartacus, you're not gonna let this go to the end of summer, huh?
No,
who says the end of summer?
He's just not. He's not having it. He's not having it. But I will say this: this is your channel, and opinions are welcome. Abuse is not. I don't care who you are. You don't abuse anyone. Nobody gets paid. Everyone is entitled to an opinion. You don't have to agree with it. Just don't watch. Simple as. Yeah. Take care, all. Smash like, and we'll see you post-match on Wednesday. And as always, up the Blues. Take care.